Hey everybody, I wanted to make a video about dependency injection because I'm reading about it everywhere, Stack Overflow, especially people trying to get into Angular. So they read about dependency injection, how great it is, how to increase the testability and the modularity of your code. But it might be a little confusing, so I want to cover it in a high-level way, and I have this little sample code up here. And I've got a constructor for a filter called filter greater than. And then I've got this other class right here. And in the constructor, you pass it a data array and just an array of numbers. In the instance side, that data array gets assigned. Then a filter gets created. So we say this.myFilter equals new filter greater than 4. And then there's this other function called filter data, which just returns the data array filtered by the myFilter function. So we say that this class has a dependency on this filter greater than. We're hard coding this into the class. So how can we instead of using hard coded style, how can we use dependency injection? So basically we'll just take out this new filter greater than, and one way to do it is to pass it in the constructor. So we'll just call this past filter, and we'll just say this.myFilter equals the past filter. Okay, so now we've removed the hard-coded dependency, and now when we create a new instance of this example class, we just pass it the filter, and then that way we've removed this tight coupling between example class and filter greater than. So I've got this example down here. I'm saying var my class equals new example class data, and now I need to pass it a filter. So I'll just say my filter equals new filter greater than, and then like 3. And I just say my filter. Okay, and that's it. Now we're using dependency injection instead of hard coding it in. Another way that you can do it, and it's very similar, is you could have like a method set filter. And again, you could just say this.myFilter equals past filter. This is it. This is how the basics of dependency injection is done. You just remove the hard-coded dependencies from the constructors, and you allow other code to be able to quote-unquote inject the dependencies in there, either through constructors or setters or some other method that gets, the class can reach out to some other class and say, hey, what should I be dependent on? So there's all kinds of ways, but just the point is that you remove it, from being really tightly coupled. And the way that this helps testing is, let's say that filter greater than this constructor up here wasn't part of this file. It was in some other file. And if we're doing testing, we'd have to load both of these up. And it really helps to imagine, we've got just a few lines of code here, under 50 lines of code. Think of how this would work if you had hundreds of thousands of lines of code that needed to be tested across, thousands of files. That's when dependency injection is, and all these design patterns you might have heard about can really help. So if you're trying to test and you don't want to load all these files up, you can mock up a simple object that's going to make your test pass or fail, whatever you need to do. So that's how it helps testing, and you can already see how it helps the modularity aspect of it, because we are not so highly dependent on the filter greater than. We could write other filters and then just pass those filters in. So it could be anything, as long as it has a dot filter function attached to the object, then anything will work. So that's the basics of it. Hope this helps you understand a little bit. There's a lot of other videos and blog posts and all that stuff that really dive deep and talk about the specifics of dependency injection. all the different ways that it can be accomplished, and then the advantages and disadvantages. There's a really lengthy Wikipedia article that you can go over. This is a very big topic. It seems to be very hot right now. A lot of people talking about it. Don't buy in so much to dependency injection being the greatest thing ever, and how everything should be coded. Check it out, see if it's right for you to start coding that way. Maybe now you'll understand a little bit more these frameworks that are using dependency injection and talking about it. But yeah, I hope this helped.